Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Let's see, today we're going to make creamy beef and shells. I think that's the name of it. I've never liked that name of it, or it's creamy beef and shells. Anyway, whatever it is, it'll be up in the title. This is a recipe that's been around for a long, long time. Probably the last thing YouTube needs is another version of it, but I've been trying to come up with, truly one-pot meals that you don't have to use, put in the oven, keep yourselves a little bit cooler during the summer months without having to heat up the house, but still have a really, really nice evening dinner or lunch or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so originally this recipe, at least for me, has evolved several times. I don't even remember what the original recipe was, but I've added a few things, taken a few things out. So this is my version of it. Now, one thing we're going to do before we go over the ingredients, which as usual looks like there's a lot of stuff there, but it's really only a few ingredients. And I'm making this a truly one-pot recipe because we're going to actually cook our pasta and then we're going to use the same pot. Because I'm always talking about making pasta and how you can't make pasta, a pound of pasta in 2 cups of water. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that. All right, so this pasta is, so for this recipe, we're going to use medium shells. Okay, now, this particular manufacturer says 2, so you always want to read your box, okay, read the directions. Bring 4 to 6 quarts of water to a boil, all right? I always do 6 quarts. We've got 6 quarts of water there, guys, which has come to a nice boil, all right? Then it says add salt. All right, now, I usually, for about 6 quarts, I use 2 tablespoons of salt. Now, that may sound like a lot, but remember, guys, that most of that salt is going to stay in the water. A little of it's going to flavor our pasta, and it's going to be delicious. All right, so I've got my spoon. All right, so our water was at a really nice rolling boil. Chemically, the salt always, I don't know, what does it do? Does it can't bring the temperature down? Anyways, I don't have to look into that. I'm sure we learned about it at some point in our lives. All right, so we got our pound of pasta. Now, a lot of the recipes for this dish call for anywhere between 8 ounces and 12 ounces. I've done it so that it's for 16 ounces or a pound of pasta. One, I don't want empty boxes of pasta taking up space in my cabinets, and to me it doesn't make any sense. When am I going to use another 4 ounces of pasta? So we're going to use a pound. Also, this particular recipe feeds a small army. So we're going to put our pasta in. Now, according to the manufacturer's directions, al dente is 8 minutes. So what we want to do is we want to bring that back, let it come back up to a boil. And with pasta, any kind of pasta, whether it's shells or spaghetti or whatever, elbows, you want to stand here for a few minutes and stir it till it comes back to a boil. You don't have to do it constantly, but we want all of that starch to start to, if we don't stir it, all that starch is going to start to get all your pasta sticking together. And we don't want that. Now, but one of the other secrets of making pasta is we've got a lot of water in there. Our starch is not going to make our pasta sticky. And I'm sure we've talked about this, or you learned from whoever you've watched cooking. Now, before I say that, you don't need this large of a pot. You can use a smaller pot. I'm using this large pot because this works on the little induction burner. But normally, if I was cooking on the range, I'd use just my smaller Dutch oven or my cast iron Dutch oven. So if you don't have a pot this big, don't fret, you don't need it. All right, so I started to say, that's not going to boil over on this, but if you put your pan on your wooden spoon or whatever spoon on your pan like that, it won't boil over. All right, well, let's quickly go over the rest of the ingredients while we're waiting, and that's almost back at a rolling boil. Give it one more second. All right, we're going to boil. Okay, set a timer for 8 minutes.
All right, 8 minutes. Starting now.
All right, so the other ingredients we need, like I said, it looks like a lot, but there's only a few ingredients. I've got 2 pounds of ground beef, 80-15 here. Now, like I said, this recipe feeds a lot of people, and if you want to stretch your dollar a little further, you can use 1 pound of ground beef. It's going to be fine. We're going to need some, I've got one large yellow onion here, and like we've done many times, we're just going to give it a rough chop. You can, of course, chop these as big or as small as you want. We kind of like them. I like to be able to cut my finger. Taste the onions in there, or see, have pieces of onion in there. And then also, while you're boiling your pasta, you want to stir it every few minutes or so. All right, so as I said, we've got 2 pounds of ground beef. 1 pound will work. Then for spices, we've got some garlic powder, onion powder, whatever your favorite Italian seasoning blend is. All right, of course, you're going to need some salt and pepper. That's going to be to taste. Don't count the salt. Well, it is going to salt the pasta a little bit, so if that's your taste, that's your taste. We're going to need a little bit of olive oil for frying up our onions and our beef. I've got some garlic paste here. If you don't have any garlic paste, use 2 good-sized cloves of garlic, chopped up fine. Now, interesting. So I've heard some people describe this as it's kind of like a hamburger helper, which it is kind of, but it's almost, it's weird because it's a cream sauce with cheese and then it's delicious if you haven't had it. We're going to use some beef stock, okay? You could use water. The beef stock does just add that extra little bit of pizzazz to it. But if you don't have any beef stock, you could use some water, maybe throw a couple beef bouillon cubes. We're going to need some heavy cream. Now, this is another thing I've tried substituting, bringing down the calories, and yes, it does add a little bit of price to it, cost to it. But really, if you don't use heavy cream, you're not going to get that really, really creaminess that we're looking for. And then with this recipe, so you're going to need some pasta sauce. I always use Prego pizza-style pizza sauce. It's just delicious, but that's what we're going to use. I opened that, so it's spilling out a little bit. I just threw sauce all over my kitchen. And then you're going to need some creamy cheese. Again, my favorite kind of creamy cheese when I'm cooking has become this Kraft creamy melt. This is a triple cheddar blend. You can use whatever cheese you like. All right. Now, believe it or not, that's it. Now, so what we're going to do is I'm gonna clean up my mess here, or our ingredients, and when we come back. So once my pasta is al dente, I'm gonna drain it, and then I'm just gonna leave it in the strainer and put it on that plate. All right, we'll be back when our pasta is cooked. Okay, so our medium shells are cooked perfectly al dente. Now, you do want to try to get those al dente, not overcook them, because it's going to cook a little bit longer once everything comes together. All right, so anyway, so as I said, I'm staying true to my word. This one pot, I haven't even rinsed it. It's the same pot I used. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. Probably a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons or so. We don't need a lot, because we're going to be doing our, hold on, what am I doing? Let's shut that off. And function, there we go. All right, I'm going to put that on, let's say a medium high. That looks like good to me. We got our onions. I'm going to throw those in. And we're just going to saute these for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, if that, 3 or 4 maybe. Get them all coated up in our oil. We're just, starting to get these a little bit opaque. Oh, one thing also, guys, I forgot to mention, we need about a tablespoon of all-purpose flour, because we're going to thicken this a bit, and then our cream and our cheese is going to thicken it even more. I'm going to turn that up just so I don't keep you guys here all day. Do a little bit of salt, give it a pinch. And Throw a little pepper in there too. That is fresh ground pepper, guys. I go through a lot of pepper, so it seems like be like grounding up a big amount of it every couple days or so. And like I said, 3-4 minutes. Just make sure all the, your kernels, as they get heated, they're going to separate. Not your kernels, your diced onions. What else can we say about this recipe? Like I said, this is a real easy way to stretch a pound of ground beef. The richness from the heavy cream and the cheese and our nice beef stock makes this extra special. So, you could do up to 2 pounds. Or you could do any amount, say between a pound and a pound and a half. It's hard to buy unless you go to the butcher. Even then, you're going to make sure you say, I want exactly a pound. It's hard to find just like a pound of ground beef. These happen to be those grass-fed ones, so it does come in the package measured out exactly in a pound. All right, that looks pretty good to me, guys. I'm gonna throw our meat in. Now, we don't necessarily have to get that perfect brown meat that we have in one of our recipes. In terms of the method of it. We want to get this cooked, but it's going to be in sauce, and we're not going to see that beautiful brownness anyway. So, all right, so we're going to let that brown until it's fully cooked. Okay, our beef is all nicely browned. Now, if you really feel it's necessary, and then it's going to make that much of a difference, if you want to drain this and drain off any of that little bit of fat that you see in there, you can. We do need a little bit of fat because we're going to make a little bit of a roux, but I'll leave that up to you. All right, then we got all of our other seasonings in here, our dry stuff. I'm going to just add that. Give it a stir around. Can add in a good couple teaspoons of our garlic paste, which I just spilled all over the place as well. Thank you, honey. Let's stir that in. And of course, if you were using your fresh garlic, your minced garlic, you'd put that in when I just put in the garlic paste. We do have some garlic powder in there. If you don't happen to have garlic, you don't have to put it in there, but adds a little bit of extra oomph. Got our flour, and get that all covered and mixed in there. You can see we have almost no fat left. In fact, I'll turn that down a bit. And we just want to give that a good, maybe close to a minute. Getting the flour cooked and get it mixed in nice with our meat. Now, I would say this recipe, depending upon how thick or creamy you want it, is going to take between 2 and 4 cups of either beef stock or water. Now, I find that it's usually about 3 cups. So, we're going to start to slowly drizzle in some of our beef stock. And we'll pick up any font that's on the bottom. Kind of deglazing it a little bit. And keep on adding. This is a full box, so I know it's going to take at least 2 cups. And it's hard to tell, but we certainly that has thickened our liquid in there. All right, there's not 2 cups of, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm gonna go just about my 3 cups. That looks good to me. And we'll do, well, it feels a little light. Do 3 or 4 more plops. And stir it. And like I said, this is going to thicken up even a little bit more as we put our cheese in and stuff. All right, so there you got that. Then we want to add our, whatever you're using for tomato sauce. Whatever your favorite jar brand is.
Sauce you good on this?
You could, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't waste my sauce on this, truthfully, my homemade spaghetti sauce, but because it's tasty, but it doesn't have to be the star of the dish. But you could. And just put a little stock in there, get as much out of that as we can. We paid for it. And you want to bring that back up to just where you see it bubbling a little bit. Which it is almost. That will help thicken that part of it up. It smells good. It's just about bubbling all over. I'm going to give it a quick taste. Perfect. I don't think it needs any more salt or spices. Okay, I'm going to turn it down to about medium high, and we're going to use a cup of heavy cream. I have more in the refrigerator, but I know there's a cup in here. Stir a lot together, get it all nice, so you can see it's that even the cream has thickened it up even more. We're almost done. This really should probably, take about 25 minutes to throw together. All right, and then we got our cheese. Again, it's going to depend upon how cheesy or creamy you want it. I usually use just about 2 cups. It in there. Of course, you could use off the block cheddar if you want to take the time to grade your own cheese. If you heard me if you heard me burp, excuse me. Hopefully that was covering it when I burped. Is it okay now?
Oh, yeah.
But I did burp a little. And we're kind of letting this come back up to temp. I'm going to use our whole 2 cups. We know there's 2 cups of cheese in here. At least that's what the package says. And Wade likes it cheesy. And we'll just kind of stir this until our cheese is all melted. And that looks pretty good to me. Might have a few little scraggly unmelted, but All right, and then we're going to add our noodles and get everything stirred in. Make sure all your noodles are broken up. And again, see, our noodles are not starchy. They're not sticking together. That's because we did them. Oh, look at there's a couple. All right, guys, then what you want to do is turn this, keep it on medium low. And we can put a cover on it. And we just want that to reheat through. Give it a stir a couple times, probably take 3, 4, 5 minutes to get everything heated through. And then it's dinner time. See you in a bit. Well, guess what time it is? It's eating time! Yay! Now, this with a nice side salad, which I was going to do a side salad, but I thought I had salad fixings in the refrigerator, but I didn't. So we're not we're not having a side salad. Or some nice garlic toast or Texas toast. But it was too hot to heat up the oven, so we're just having butter and bread. All right, but let's get to the main event.
This looks so good.
Smells delicious.
Delicious as always.
Tasty. Perfectly cooked. I shouldn't brag about my pasta, but not pasta.
It is
this way.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of a chew to the pasta.
Not too mushy, just like al dente, right?
Yep. Yeah, delicious, if
yeah.
I do say so myself. Well, I hope you all enjoyed watching us make dinner tonight. Hopefully you'll try the recipe. If you do, let us know. But that's all I'm going to say for now.
Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and check out cherryhillhomecooking.com. See you in the next video.
Ciao.
Bye.
That's delicious.
That is.